After responsibility releases its grip on identity, something even quieter becomes noticeable. It's not a new insight, not a dramatic shift, not a realization that announces itself. It's the absence of something that used to be constant. Interference. This episode is about what life is like when nothing inside is trying to adjust it, steer it, or improve it. Not because effort has disappeared, not because care has faded, but because there is no longer anyone standing between life and its own movement. Most people don't realize how much of their experience is shaped by internal interference. Not action, interference. The constant checking, the subtle resistance, the mental repositioning. Is this right? Should this be different? Am I doing enough? Is this okay? These questions don't usually stop life from moving. They distort how it moves. Interference is not always obvious. It often feels like responsibility, like attentiveness, like being careful. But underneath, it is a form of mistrust, a belief that life cannot be allowed to proceed on its own. The center specializes in interference. It does not create action. It modifies action. It steps in between impulse and response. It evaluates before movement is complete. This creates friction. When the center dissolves, interference weakens. Not because someone decides to stop interfering, but because there is no longer a position from which to interfere. This changes the texture of experience. Life without interference does not feel dramatic. It feels simpler. Actions complete themselves. Responses arrive and end. Moments pass without commentary. This can feel unfamiliar at first, because interference has been mistaken for engagement. People often worry that without interference, they will become careless, that they will overlook details, that standards will slip, that attention will fade. But interference is not attention. It is tension layered on top of attention. Without interference, attention becomes cleaner, more direct, more responsive. You notice what needs to be noticed. You respond where response is required. You don't hover over every movement. This becomes especially visible in problem solving. With interference, the mind loops. It revisits options. It second guesses. It delays action through over-evaluation. Without interference, problem solving becomes more linear. A problem is noticed. A response appears. Adjustment follows. There is less delay between seeing and doing. This does not eliminate complexity. Complex situations still require thought, but thought is used when needed. It does not run constantly in the background. Another place interference fades is emotional experience. With a center, emotions are often managed, interpreted, adjusted, suppressed, or amplified. Without interference, emotions arise and resolve more naturally. Sadness comes and goes. Joy appears and fades. Frustration surfaces and dissipates. There is less effort to control emotional states. This does not make emotions stronger. It makes them shorter. Life without interference also changes how mistakes are experienced. With interference, mistakes trigger internal correction loops, replays, self-analysis, judgment. Without interference, mistakes are noticed. Correction happens, and the moment completes. There is no need to extend the experience. Learning still occurs, but it is not dramatized. This has a profound effect on mental energy. A large amount of fatigue does not come from action. It comes from interference layered on top of action. When interference fades, energy becomes available again, not as motivation, as capacity. People often describe this as feeling less tired without doing less, because effort is no longer leaking into unnecessary mental activity. Life without interference also changes how people relate to improvement. With a center, improvement is often identity-based. I should be better. I need to change. I must fix this. These thoughts create pressure. Without interference, improvement becomes adaptive. If something isn't working, adjustment happens. If it is working, it continues. There is no background narrative about becoming someone else. This does not mean stagnation. It means change without self-criticism. Another place interference fades is in conversation. With interference, people monitor themselves while speaking. They adjust tone mid-sentence. They rehearse responses before listening is complete. Without interference, conversation becomes more fluid. Listening deepens. Responses arise naturally. Silence is allowed. There is less need to manage impression. This often creates a sense of ease in social settings. Not because confidence has increased, But because self-monitoring has decreased, life without interference also changes how people relate to discomfort. With interference, discomfort triggers immediate resistance. Why is this happening? How do I get rid of this? What does this mean? Without interference, discomfort is noticed. Response arises if needed. But there is less internal struggle against the experience itself. This reduces suffering. Another subtle shift happens around control. With a center, control feels necessary. Without interference, control becomes situational. You steer when steering is required. You let go when it is not. There is no need to hold control continuously. This makes control more effective when it does appear. This also affects planning. Planning still happens, but it is lighter. There is less emotional investment in outcomes. Plans are treated as tools, not guarantees. If plans change, adjustment happens without collapse. Life without interference allows rest. Not rest as reward. Not rest as recovery from identity. But rest as a natural pause. When action ends, rest appears. No justification required. This does not reduce productivity. It improves sustainability. A common misunderstanding at this stage is thinking that nothing should be corrected anymore. That interference fading means everything must be accepted as is. This is not the case. Correction still happens. Feedback still matters. But correction arises from contact, not from internal pressure. Another trap is trying to prevent interference. People attempt to stay out of the way. They monitor themselves to ensure they are not interfering. This recreates interference in a subtler form. Life does not need to be managed. It needs to be trusted. Trust here does not mean belief. It means absence of obstruction. Letting response complete itself. Letting experience move. The simplest orientation is this. Notice when something is actually needed. Respond when it is. Then let the moment finish. No extra commentary. No lingering adjustment. If life feels quieter now, that is not disengagement. If action feels simpler, that is not apathy. It is the absence of unnecessary interference. Life has always known how to move. The center did not guide it. It interrupted it. When interruption fades, movement becomes smoother. This does not make life perfect. It makes it functional. In the next episode, we'll look at something even more subtle. Not action, not responsibility, but rest without relief. What happens when even the need to recover disappears? Because this is where many people think something must be missing. And once again, something ordinary remains.